Alright, so we're reusing some footage from my 503rd Legends PvE run, and this is another semi-fun slash free run because I'm only restricted to heroes. So I'm using another one of my favorites, Bombshell Wonder Woman. And actually normally I don't run Wonder Woman while random queuing for OA PvE. I'll use her when I run with my league in a pre-made run. But I picked her in this case because I just wanted footage with my favorite legends as I was doing the review. She has an okay loadout, but for OA, I think the Kryptonians are better. Like with regards to the Vice fight, she doesn't have too many ranged attacks. Like her lasso doesn't pull him, so it's only the initial hit. And of course she has the monolith toss, which has a long cooldown. But other than that, against Vice, she just has the shield. So that's sort of my thinking when I'm comparing Wonder Woman, say, versus Supergirl. But in general, Wonder Woman is probably my best one, as in best performing. I'd say probably tied with Batman. Those are my two top. Now with Wonder Woman in OA, most of her attacks are melee. She has the shield tossed for crowd control, lasso for a conal attack. Single target against the boss would be the lasso into the kick, which is a pretty strong combo. Coup de grace, which is her finisher. And against ads, it's actually pretty strong too, even if you don't use it as a finishing move. She has the monolith toss, which is her weaponized attack. And you'll notice that I pop that before the ads come out. And that's because it's what I call a passive power, where you kind of prepare for something before moving into combat. So that way when she pops the monolith, she has a weaponized attack when the ads come out. Plus the out of combat regen gives her full power at the start of the fight. And a lot of other legends also have passive powers like that. Circe is probably the most efficient because she can pop 3 before going into combat. Her 2 pets and then the shield. Alright, so we got Vice to begin with. Might as well get him over with. So it's melee attacks until he does the plasma wretch, roll back, and then ranged attacks. So with Wonder Woman, it's mostly weapons, because pretty much after the monolith toss, that goes on cooldown for a pretty long time. Actually, it's not a spammable attack. But with legends, weapon attacks are kind of okay. It's not as lopsided as regular PvE. And when I melee with Wonder Woman against a single boss with no ads, I'm pretty much just spamming the lasso combo just because it's 2 power hits. So it's just weapon attacks clipping into the lasso, comboing into the kick. That's probably her strongest before the boss hits 33%. Then once he's 33% or lower, I'll just do coup de grace whenever that's out of cooldown. So just taking my usual spot to the northwest, preparing for either the north or the west door, and popping the monolith to start each ad fight. Lasso is also good for closing the gap because it's not only a conal attack, but she moves forward. So Wonder Woman is a very offense-heavy, melee-heavy character. Now something else you just noticed, and it's very common in LPVE, is often players will leave at the beginning when they don't see like the right matchup, and they'll just keep queuing up. And that's kind of annoying because they should be using LFG to pre-make the group if they're going for one of the feats. There was one stretch, either when I was doing the Bat family or Superman family in OA, where there was just this one guy that was abandoned in every single instance. So I made sure he was ignored um, to avoid queuing up with him again. But even when I did that, like I don't queue up with him, but other people do, and I would still see his name on the list, like with zero stats, because he just kept abandoning. In this case, it was pretty clear this guy just needed the boss combo, so he just got defeat and ditched. So he's definitely a liability in any future content, because he's just thinking of himself. And fortunately, OA has the pauses between rounds, so it's enough time to add someone to ignore before you forget about it. Because in other content, I'll often, if someone abandons, I'll often wait till the end and just kind of review. But in OA, you can do it earlier, just to multitask.
What is this? You dare to oppose me? I will educate you on the true meaning of fear as written in the Book of Parallax.
Okay, so we got Lissa for this one. And she has like the toughest ads. There are 2 rounds of yellow constructs. And these ads can't like get knocked back or controlled or countered. So you're kind of just trading hits for them. Although I have noticed that weapon attacks are really good against them, especially if you have if you're using a legend that has the 2-handed weapon set. You can just go into the Doom Spin, and it seems to burn away their health more than powers do. Now, something I get in the habit of doing is whenever there's downtime in combat, I'll just hold block to take advantage of the rollless buffs that you get in Legends PvE. Now, in that case, I had enough health and power that I didn't actually need to do that, but it's just a good habit to have. And it does help a bit in this fight, because you're in combat for the 2 ad rounds going into the boss fight. So I'm going to do it again here, and this time it is helping with the power. I think it's 33% where you start to get the passive power back, health and heal back.
You shall not leave here alive. Prepare to meet a violent and painful end.
So for Lissa, it favors the flight tunes, because she always starts out in the air, and then she'll move down later.
You will learn to fear my
I guess apart from Vice, the rest of OA is pretty melee heavy, so maybe Wonder Woman overall is better, but I just tend to enter with a Kryptonian whenever I random queue, just in case. And it's all for the Vice fight, because I just noticed that more players don't know how to fight Vice compared to the other bosses. And I've just had like really good experiences using Supergirl against Vice. I've had to solo him twice using her. I haven't had the opportunity with Wonder Woman, but I feel like that fight would go more slowly with her because she doesn't have like the heavy ranged hit. So in the ad rounds of OA, you're basically keeping your eye on the 3 doorways, because those are the 3 points you're going to jump to. Sometimes the southern point has alpha lanterns, but that's more rare when you're rolling the different ads that come out. Often you'll go through an OA without them appearing. So Wonder Woman is a great character for traversing the map, because she has her melee / crowd controls for the doorway that she starts out at, and you'll often knock them out before your teammates finish the other doorways, so you can lunge to the next adjacent one, or you can pull ads with the lasso in from an adjacent doorway. And often, like, the pull and the combo into the kick will be an instant knockout. So that combo it's almost like a coup de grace that's out of the 33% finisher area. Another technique I use with Wonder Woman to kind of close the gap is I'll lunge and then use the lasso attack, the lasso whip. Because both of those move forward, and even if the initial lunge misses, it closes the gap faster than if you were just floating around or walking.
Malfunction. Science-cell inertial restriction field reversed.
Prisoner 000001. Krona released.
For millennia, I have remained in that cell to rot. The Guardians, their core, all of you will pay!
Okay, so final boss fight. Manhunters are going to come out of the west and east doors, and they're going to stop just before Krona. And at the end of his speech, what I usually do is either combo into the downward shield, or I'll use the monolith to hit as many of the Manhunters as I can.
Long before the Guardians,
And then heading over to Krona, and we're going to back attack him for most of the fight, just to avoid his Now in this fight you're already in combat during his speech, so popping the monolith doesn't get out of combat regen, but it does give you a strong hit while saving time, because if you popped it after his speech, then you're already like exchanging blows with him. But if you pop it beforehand, then you have something to toss right in the beginning. So working my way around. What I usually do is melee attacks from behind. When he has the ray, I'll be like 180 degrees away from him and use whatever ranged loadout I have. And that's pretty general, pretty general with all tunes that I use, because most will have at least one ranged attack. And in this particular case with Wonder Woman, if any Manhunters sneak up behind me, I'll just use the downward shield attack, just to crowd control them. So that's a pretty smooth run after the guy abandoned us. Always helps to have a Batman on the team.
Inertial restriction field disabled.